Hi, this is Vicki from Grandma Bee's Junk Journal. Thanks for stopping by my channel. Today I'm going to share a junk journal that I just finished. It was a custom order and I kind of love it. It's created from one of the Happy Hollister books that I've did a video on this one of my hauls. I got a whole series of these books and I put a few of them on my website. And this customer seen one that she really loved and she asked if I could create a junk journal with it. So I just finished it and I'm going to share it. And if this isn't something that she wants to purchase, then I will go ahead and put it on my website. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and share this with you. So it is tied with a white lace. And the reason that she liked this book is because the image on the front cover brought back memories of her childhood, of her playing games outside with her family and friends, as well as playing games inside. So she asked if I could use the image that was on the book cover and then include different items in the junk journal that has to do with games. So it is covered with some red fabric, and I did use Mod Podge to glue it onto the cover, the front and the back cover. I used a 1.5-inch spine and 2 sewn-in signatures, and I covered the holes with buttons. There is a removable tassel, and there is a charm. Now, the reason I chose these 2 charms, this is a pine cone and this is a key. And she told me a little story about playing in pine trees. And so this is a pine cone. So I thought that the pine cone would represent those memories and the key would represent unlocking those childhood memories. And that is removable as well. So it is trimmed with some pom-pom lace, and inside it has the original front and back covers with the images. And then I used Fabri-Tac and I glued a vintage woman's hanky across it so it would have a front and a back pocket. And then I filled this with some goodies that she can use to embellish her journal if she chooses to purchase this. The 2 signatures, the covers for those signatures are 2 of my hand dyed paper. I did a video on this recently, and these 2 papers were dyed with purple cabbage, and the purple cabbage made this beautiful blue dye. And so I used 2 of those papers in here, and I've trimmed with lace. Now there are lots of different pages from different books. I was really trying to find images of childhood memories, childhood games, inside games, outside games. This goes along with that pine tree memory that she had, and so this is a flip up that she could use for a photo or for writing. I've put a few different tabs from the fabric that I used on the cover and the spine. This is from a children's book. This is vintage children's writing paper. And this is from a vintage book. And she had mentioned playing marbles when she was a kid. And so this little poem had marbles in it, and it had children outside playing. So I thought that she might appreciate that. Now, she spent time in Michigan and Israel, and so I just got a World Atlas map a book, and it's old. I'm going to guess it was the early 1900s, but I went ahead and used this page that has, it has Israel right here, so it has that part of the world map. And then later in the journal, I also took the page out that has Michigan, so that if she wanted to write about those childhood memories, there was a map that she could use as well. This is a baking sheet, and then this is a very vintage music sheet from a children's music book. And this is a page from a Sears and Roebuck catalog, and I think it's 1942, I believe, but it's children's games. So she could take this and use it just to collage on. She could make it into pockets or tucks. It's just clipped to a page. And throughout the journal, there are several cards of children doing some kind of activities, whether it's games or like this is painting out in the wilderness. This is a tag that I made of a little girl swinging, and then the poem is on the back, and I sewed around it with a lace tab. And there are 4 little paper clips with lace. This is from a vintage children's book, and they're outside playing Ring Around the Rosies. And these are from 2 different very old children's books. This is children's playing a game inside. It has some pets and some children with their dolls. And I couldn't believe it. I actually had a book in my stash that was early 1900s, and it was all about indoor games and outdoor games. So throughout this journal, I have cut, and unfortunately I couldn't use the whole paper, the whole pages, because the book that I got it from was a large book, so I did have to cut it down. But there are some games that I was able to save, and then of course this was the indoor games. I've just clipped 3 different pieces of ephemera, some cards there, and some children here. Now there are a lot of pages that is available for journal or photos, and there's a lot of text pages. Now on these text pages, you could also use like some of these cards and put pockets. I have a whole pile of things I'm going to go through that are die cuts that I have in a bundle for this book as well. And you can use any of those die cuts. You could glue those right on these pages as well to cover that text if you wanted. This is another page from that games book, Outdoor Games, playing in the snow. And I just love this. I saved this, I think that was from the same book. But I just love the image here of the children in the school. And she was a teacher as well. And so I thought that this would relate back to her as well, because it's a vintage schoolhouse. It's an old schoolhouse. So I thought that she might like that. And then here's some children in the woods. She shared some memories of just beautiful childhood memories, and that's kind of what I envisioned when I seen that image. I just thought that was very pretty. And then here's some more indoor games. And this I thought represented the outdoors. that she talked about. And this is a vintage postcard of Michigan. This is silver sand and blue water. Let's see. Does not have a date that I can see, but it is of Michigan. So I thought that would be a great spot for journaling some memories. And then here's a picture of a waterfall. And then the simple things, and the memories that she shared were simple childhood memories that were just so wonderful. And so I really tried to find images and poems and things that matched. She talked about playing marbles outside with her friends. So I found a song. Unfortunately, I had to cut it down. But it does represent that memory. And then here is the other side of that map. And then children running outside. They're roller skating here. And here they're playing, looks like they're painting maybe. And then here's another card that I found that I cut down for a pocket of children playing out in the snow. And then another postcard that would be great for pictures and journaling. Here's the second signature with that other piece of paper that I hand dyed. I just really love those images. And I clipped three more little cards up here. And of course, this is a wilderness from a children's book. And I just love that image. And children playing. And then here is the Michigan map. I believe she lived over in this area of Michigan. And this is just a vintage children's craft and games book. This is from that indoor games. And just a simple photo or children's book page. Dip in some water from the creek. And happiness as a child, a nice little poem there. Outdoor games, kite making. And some images there. And children playing outside in the street. And then some more outdoor games. And then here's another beautiful image from a children's book. And then this is, I just thought that was a great illustration on that page. So I just clipped it over that page in the journal. And here's another card in the corner for a pocket. Snowball fights. Here's another corner pocket, and girls are inside by the fireplace playing games. And then I added an extra page to this page because I loved that image so much. Children, they're riding the little wooden horse, and she has a little dolly here. And I made it into a pocket right here. And then you can just fold it over, and then there's the back of it. And then this is the back cover, and I've added a little packet of some cards in the little hanky. And then this is the back. And then I'll go through quickly the things that will be going with it. So I have some vintage stamps that you could use to embellish the pages or make clusters. This is one of my clusters that I make, and I love to add these 2 pages. And it says collect beautiful moments. This is one of my tri-fold tag pockets, and I've added a honey stick and a packet of tea. And you could clip this to one of the pages. It opens out. So there's like 3, it opens out, so there's like 3 tags that are hooked together that you can fill with journaling, front and back, or photos. And then there's a pocket in front, and I've added a little card. Or you can go ahead and glue this right to one of the pages, and then it will open out. So these are really nice little tags to have in your journals. And then I did some die cutting. So she talked a lot about outside memories and in the pine trees and with her friends. So I die cut some pine trees. The top is flannel. And then there are 2 pine trees underneath. So you could, write your memories, put your photographs. You could glue this right onto one of the pages, and then it could, like hide your journaling, or you could clip it. So I have included 2 of those, and a little packet of different color tags. So there's this size, this size, this size, this size, and this size. So there's like 5 different sizes, and probably 2, 4, maybe 8 or 10 different tags. This is a packet of 4 of the waterfall cards. So if you look back on my playlist, I have a video of how to make a waterfall. And so these are the 4 pages for that, and it is scored right here. Excuse me. So you would glue on this little strip here, and then it's scored, so that's where your flap is going to come in, and then you would just glue them so it's like in order. So, but if you wanted to check out that video, it shows you how to do that. This is a little pocket. I did not glue it because if you wanted to trace it and cut out more, that you could use this as a template. Otherwise, you just glue it where it's scored. And then you can add this to one of your pages and put a little note in there. You could put some lace or something at the top. Here are 2 of the envelopes. Now they are scored, and if you've seen my other videos, I've showed you how to do this, but you just fold on the score lines like this. Put a dab of glue there, and then this goes down, or leave it open. You could glue this right to a page and just use this as a pocket. You could clip it in, lots of different ways. So there are 2 of those, but I will keep them flat for shipping purposes. This is a Rolodex die cut. You could put a photo there or put some journaling. And then here are 2 of the file folder die cuts, and it is scored. So you just fold it up like this. You put a little glue here, a little glue here, and then you have a great little file folder pocket that you can either clip into your pages, or you can go ahead and glue it. You might want to use it for a template to make some more. So there you have it. There is the new junk journal that I just created. So I hope that I have inspired some of you out there that are junk journalers, maybe given you some different ideas on what you could do for your junk journals. If you are the person that wanted me to create this, I will be sending you an email. And then if she doesn't want it, if this isn't what she was looking for, I will be putting this on my website, and that is grammybshop.com. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And if you could like, I would very much appreciate it. Thanks. Bye-bye.